So as you can tell, like I created a couple of things off camera here. I needed to do some testing and I didn't want to do that in front of the camera, but I will show you like with the next like connection, highway connection. I will show you how to accomplish that and what is really important to know. Just one thing before I'm getting started here, and actually I can see that this is working very, very well right now. Just some citizens, they're doing some weird stuff here, walking through the walls, but that's fine. It's maybe just the path of the citizens here. Over there it doesn't, yeah, it does also happen, so maybe it's just a thing. Either or, that solution or building such a solution only works as long as you're using the standard vanilla pavement paths or the bicycle paths. So the thing is, it doesn't work with the park path, unfortunately, or maybe obviously, I don't know. So you have to use the vanilla paths for this here. But for now, I want to focus on this on and off ramp here, including the pedestrian overpaths here. So I'm going to delete them first and then rebuild the whole structure, the whole setup, just below ground to make sure that, yeah, my citizens can still use that connection back and forth from one side of the town to the other. So let me get started, and yeah, thank you so much for joining me again. Please stay tuned for a couple of minutes and I'll be back for you and give you some explanations around this if needed. So that looked quite simple, didn't it? So I'm wondering to see how my pedestrians, yeah, they are already starting to reorganize themselves here. Just I'm a bit surprised that they're taking this short route here while they shouldn't, because obviously I want them to get into the park first and then take the underground connection here, but that's fine. Over here people are streaming out of this part, and I think on the other side it should be, yeah, it's working a lot. If you've ever been like in the past to Toronto or Montreal, and I have to admit I have never been to Montreal, only to the airport many years ago. I didn't like it. I'm sorry guys, the French Canadians are hard for me. Like, no, not everybody of course, because I'm working with a lot of French Canadians and they're like amazing people. I like them so much, and it's good to work with them, so no complaints here. I'm only making fun, but well, the French Canadians there weren't very nice, but still I want to go back to Montreal and revisit this city at some point in time, or at least visit it for the first time ever in my life, because I'm so curious. Like, even in Toronto, like most of the downtown area is underground, and I think from everything I know, the whole area in like the underpasses in Toronto are most likely a lot more than in Toronto, which is like in Montreal. There are a lot more underpasses and sub I don't know, sub-city like structures, sub-downtown structures. There are way more than in Toronto. At least that's what I've been told. And I'm so curious to see that at some point in time. So right here, I'm following a slightly different pattern. Like I'm taking everything through the middle of the roundabout here that's underneath the highway. And this, like I'm squeezing it in. Doesn't look very beautiful, so I'm moving that house here as well, slightly to a different location, but that should work. And now again, I have to reconnect this here to up here. Oh, sorry. So I didn't want to do that. They were hidden here, so -9. But obviously I want to go back to the ground level. And I'm just doing that to make sure that I will not need any like highway overpasses in the near future. Because I hardly ever find them beautiful enough to really justify them being built there in a city. But that's just my personal opinion, my liking. So that worked out better than I expected, to be honest, and a lot more people can now get from here to there. And traffic seems to increase. Maybe it's because a lot more citizens are coming to town. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully that's the reason, because that would be very, very nice. And I also want to have 2 of those underpasses happening here, just to make sure that there's also a reasonable like transition between that part of town and the northern part of town that's there. So how can I bring those back in there? Yeah, so I'm using that pathway again, going 9 below ground, 8 units up here. I think it will be 9 below ground there, connecting those guys up so they can transition between one park and the other. I'm reconnecting this gazebo in a little bit, just so that you understand that I haven't forgotten about this. And reconnecting this up here, and the other one most likely up there. So I'm curious to see whether that worked. And I think the only, or more or less the only structure that didn't turn out that well. So underground mode, I want to move you out as far as possible. So even if that's not very convenient to have, like I still want them to be as long as possible and as far out as possible, because otherwise things like that look a bit strange. Maybe something like this here. And then I should be able to move. No, I think I have to delete it again, just to recreate it once again with a different path here, like this here, and And then I can most likely reconnect that with this here, and I only will have to move the gazebo to a new place in town, which is fine. So that's also reconnected now. That should be working. I'm letting the game run to see whether people are... Yeah, they do understand the transition here. And also, hopefully over there, just looks a bit odd, to be honest. Hold on. Like, what's happening here? Is this another... Yeah, it's another weird build that I'm having here. Yeah, now they're taking this underpass as well, and they are also using it, so that's fine. It's a good, nice transition from one side of the town to the other. And then I will follow a very, very similar pattern with that overpath here, or non-existent path, you could even say, over there. So going back to the landscaping and disasters tool, beginning like here, moving that 7 units up to depth of -9. So bringing that here. Here it's maybe, yeah, also 7 units, that's good. I'm connecting this to here, that to there. And obviously I want to have that transition. And I'm taking this from here, 7 units up. No, sorry, 12 units up, 7 units out. Reconnecting here. I'm just wondering why there's so much soil piling up when it comes to that connection or that underpath thing here. But at least it works. Like, it's a good way to help people make that transition from one park to the other, or from one side of town to the other one, because obviously I don't want to have them being separated from the rest of my town, and the same I think should follow over here. Since that was my initial build, I'm wondering whether I should keep it or not. Would that free up some space? Yeah, it would definitely free up some space. Would it make things easier for my citizens? Probably not, but maybe the distance is a bit shorter. But as long as like I'm not having something over here, it's not really worth it. What I also don't like is my little, I don't know, UFO or however you want to call this. So I don't like that kind of structure, to be completely honest. And I'm wondering whether I can make this, kind of setup. I think can't make it, but that's even easier if I make an underground transition here, or create an underground transition here, because then what I basically only have to do is like finding the center here, which should be there. But why is that deleting the rock formation? Something I don't like to see. So that's deleting the rock formation, which is something I can't believe that this is really happening. No, it is not. Maybe I just had the wrong tool here. So grid angle. Angle is always good to use. That's fine for me. And I also want to go from like here to most likely over there. and then to here. So that should be fine. And I want to have one transition to like over here, and another transition to more like over there. Oh gosh, okay, that's destroying a whole, like this whole thing, it's kind of destroying it. So let me get back to the tool here, like this here. I don't like that structure at all. The way it's constructed doesn't look good. Then I'm going back here, going back underground, maybe bringing it to something like here, and again going underground. But I don't want to delete this, no, so just building something like that here. It feels a bit like I'm cheating, but I'm not. Actually, I'm not. I just have to hide it. Or at least I want to hide it because that looks awful. I don't like the way those exits actually look, but it's very, like, it's common that you see those in like downtown areas in my home country as well. So it's not that uncommon that you have things like that happening. And this is not very densely populated here, but now, like, I have the whole thing as I had it before, just with underground paths, which is something I prefer because it makes the city a little bit more beautiful. My college is kind of worrying me, so I still don't have enough students. I'm wondering where this is coming from. Like, the attractiveness is great, academic works, like I could even stop that. 64%, yeah, I could shrink it to something universal education. Any tuition fees, attractiveness, increased students, cost, no income, blah blah blah. Come on, I just need more students. Well, let's wait and see how that changes. Maybe it's less expensive for my citizens than to study there. I'm not 100% sure, but it could essentially be. So again, thank you, Rusty Walker, for this hint, because I honestly, I wouldn't say I gave up, but I kind of forgot about it, to be honest, that underpasses. But there is still this open topic, so I was building overpasses for my pedestrians along the way all the time, but that way it's more like a hidden thing, and I prefer having those instead of having those bit obnoxious overpasses in my town. So thank you very much again for your hint here. And like, if any one of you does have another recommendation or any idea what I should build on next, or what I should probably redo, please let me know. I'm more than happy, as you can see, to incorporate any changes here in my town, in my city of Springvalley, because I'm never, like, life is a moving thing, and obviously also City Skylines is. I'm usually embracing change, like most of the time. I'll try to do that. I try to be very mindful about that. Yeah, so I don't mind changing things in City Skylines as well, obviously. So going back to my airport area, I'm just having a look. I'm just checking in to see how the traffic is flowing, but that all looks nice and beautiful. And Ray actually commented on something that there are, like, I remember there was a vanilla airport at some point in time, but I'm honestly not sure whether I used the vanilla airport here with my cargo thing. And for that reason, I want to double check and just make sure that I'm not using. Is this a vanilla one? Just wondering. So that would be interesting. That's maybe something I would have to place down. I think the one that I used here is a vanilla thing. Because for the other one, I would need an airport area again, which would again lead to the fact that I already did a good job, even if I did not need that at that point in time. At some point, I will most likely build here a huge area or a huge, more commercial, public airport for my citizens and tourists that want to get into town. But right now it's, I think, too early for that, at least for me at this very point in time. Just want to do one more thing, because I just realized, like, there's another option of me connecting, but again, no, like this here. I would be able to connect that part of my train line to, like, this construction over here, and that way I would have another. I think that's not bad. It's not the worst thing. I just want to rearrange that connection here slightly, because I think that slope is ridiculous. So I'm using this tool here, like the network multi-tool, and I want to create a nice slope here. Does that make sense? More or less, I would say. Yeah, kind of. Again, I'm using it on the other side to see what's happening there. If I'm applying my changes here, I'm curious what happens there. So that will be a little bit lower. Does that make any sense, or is it just about me having to move things around just a bit? Yeah, I think that's okay-ish, except for this here. That's a bit crazy. Like this, no, I think this could potentially work. That here obviously won't work, so I'm using my node controlling here. Yeah, that looks way better, way more reasonable. I think that's good to have. That way trains can directly go from here to the cargo train, the cargo airport, if they need to. And there's something else that still bothers me a bit, I would say. Well, not really, but I don't like the design of it. And this is that type of road here. Did I choose the correct one? Yeah, probably I did. So until here, I don't want to see any weird road happening here. And again over there. No, I think I can leave the last bit. I think that looks way better, more reasonable here. Now I do have one more traffic light here. That's something I'm going to get rid of right away. And that's something that always changes, like when you're upgrading or updating or changing your roads in any kind of shape or form. And usually things like traffic lights and such are unfortunately coming back. That's fine. It just happens. So no U-turn, obviously. So good for me here. And it looks pretty nice. It looks pretty decent here. I still have a lot of room to grow my city. And currently I'm a bit hesitant to get started on working on working on other districts like the Birch sector or Rosewood land. It's a bit too soon, at least for me now. Even Empire Industrial Valley with the oil industry, I don't see that happening right now. Just want to have a look at like this here. I could potentially start with growing this part of town because there's still something outstanding here, or I'm still missing a couple of opportunities like here. So again, I'm jumping back to the grid mode. Okay, I should get started like this here. I can connect those up. Also this. I want to keep that simple, or as simple as possible, because of the reason that this will be less dense than even this district here, or more, maybe even more dense. Probably a bit denser, actually. It will be more like it's not really a downtowny area, so I'm separating those even further just to give it the right look and feel. And that's another thing, like in City Skylines 2, when you click here, you will get a nice intersection in the middle. In City Skylines 1, it's currently impossible. Like, you have to click and choose every single road where you do want to have an intersection happening. So does that still... Oh, that's not adding up here. So like this here. That should work. So I'm adding some water connectivity in first. Then from here to there. And also from, let's say, here to over there. That should cover everything. So what do I have here? I want to have a new district here. Or do I just want to reuse the style? It's already set. It's again another part of Madison Park, so that's fine. I don't have to redefine it again. Perfect. So I want to have maybe a downtowny center, a more like specific central part of this area where I do have most of the amenities needed. So I'm putting this down here, maybe a doctor's office over there, so that should pretty much cover it. I need, of course, a fire department probably next to it, and also a nice and sweet police department that should be working, and from a schooling perspective, I probably need a school here, one over there. That should cover it. And also like a college, maybe in this area, and then some kind of park. Just wondering which kind of park I should choose. Maybe that one for now. I squeezed it in somehow without the anarchy mod. Not doable. Yeah, but I squeezed it in just to make sure that it's working. Like, I'm adding in a few commercial zones. I obviously want to have a few offices here and there, but not too many of those. Then I want to have a more or less smooth transition here between smaller offices and less dense residential zones. Like here, maybe I'm removing that here to give some room to potential offices, and then low-rise commercial, maybe 1 or 2 high-rise here, like that, probably like this. I'm just curious. So I'm letting the game run now for a bit, because it will soon tell me like how it looks, or how it could look in the end. Adding in some low-rise commercials here, some small office buildings there, 1 or 2 high-rises there, low-rise residentials there. Yeah, so I'm letting this grow for a couple of minutes now, because I'm curious how it will look like. It should be a lot denser, and I think it's the only part, that less downtowny area, that actually has some high rises, but they shouldn't be too high, because I set some policies that don't allow those huge high-rise buildings as I have them over here. So hopefully that works. So I'll give it a few minutes and I'll be back for you. Thank you for staying tuned. So now I think even the last bit of my zones almost was populated, and I think the transitioning between those districts here with a couple of more central high-rises here doesn't look that bad, honestly. So I like that a lot. And I was like absolutely wondering when the constant stream of new citizens might move in, but they did over time, so I didn't experience a lot of traffic issues there. The other thing is, it's only not enough educated workers, so I'm missing educated workers, which is something I'm absolutely surprised about, because I should have enough educated workers here in this district, but that's becoming an issue here. So I need potentially more schools. High school, I do have one high school here. What about do I really need that many schools here? Yeah, maybe I should put down another one there, just to make sure that people are educated enough, and I may also need a public library there, because I haven't built one in a while, and I think they always are kind of helpful with educating citizens. So hopefully over time, or at least that problem solves itself over time, because otherwise those businesses, they might just vanish. Well, we'll see what happens, because there is another business struggling, there is another one struggling, and there is another one struggling. So it could be a challenge. It could mean I have too little educated workers, but this, like that new part here of my town, almost brought me up again to 70k citizens. Well, not again, it brought me up to 70k citizens, so that's nice to see that. Also want to make sure that like the things that I'm building here are reasonable. Maybe some small office space here, and most likely I'll just fill this up with low density residential zones, because I have the demand currently to fill those up, I think, pretty quickly, or at least halfway quickly, because right now there are already a couple of buildings coming up. That demand is going down almost immediately after, but that's the way it is. So I should be able to grow things up to 70k population, and I'm kind of taking it slow with that city, as you might have experienced already over time, because in other cities I did have such a big amount of such a huge amount of, like, large amount of citizens, above 120k, and with that city I'm really going slow, or at least I'm trying to, because that makes it easier to work with the traffic and whatnot, and just work my way through all the challenges that usually come up when you're building a new city. Yeah, so I think for that episode I'm just trying to think about it. Like, I want to have one other location in my town that's been completely missing, and I want to have a look whether it would be an option for me to put down something like a sports arena, park, luxury hotel. Should I just place it down for 200k? I don't know. That's so huge. Like, look at that. It's so big. But what are we looking at? Like leisure or unique buildings? Parks and plazas, park areas. What's that? It's a zoo. Fantastic fountain, driving range. It's a casino, concert, landmarks. I know that in the college thing there have been a couple of things that I could probably use for this. Science Center, varsity sports, so I could add another college area. Baseball park, football stadium. I want to have a football stadium in my town. Maybe like over here, right in the center of it, with a huge parking lot. But obviously I don't want to place it down just like that. Maybe at a different angle. I want to have this here in my town. Maybe at such an angle. I'm just doing some rough planning here around this. So back to education. Like this here. Yeah, pretty much covers it. That'd be nice to have. Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah, and it's an American football thing, so that's good. And also a baseball park right next to it if it's way smaller. Either way, I'm going to need a very, very good connection to my highway. And I also need to make this like a priority thing here. 2-lane, one-way thing through the city here. So changing that, setting it up like this. So that doesn't look too bad. I'm not yet sure what I'm putting around this whole thing, but most likely in a typical American tradition, I will put down a huge parking lot here. So with probably an entry point. Let me check. Maybe I can squeeze that in somehow. So that should be fairly doable. I want to use this here as a starting point. That should line up. That's nice. So now I'm decorating everything. So I'll fast forwarded. I'm so slow at decorating parking lots. So please just give me some time here and I'll be back for you in a few minutes. So it's not something very sophisticated yet here in my new American football stadium. But there are a couple of things, like ticket prices. I want to raise them to like maybe 33. That's fine. Match security. I'm just hire security staff to patrol. Yeah, €5 a week. Free on match days, increase the amount, raise the odds of winning the match. That's fine. Subsidized use. Is this doable? Like, can I afford? Yeah, I think I can't afford it yet. Focus, traffic, blah blah blah. So expenses are okay. I want to get a better understanding of how this area will be affected by it on the one hand, and the other thing is how will this parking lot perform whenever there's a match day coming up. How will we be doing? And right now, again, I forgot about something very essential here. This I need maybe like that. I want to run through a water line here. I'm just doing that. So now it's about electricity. That's also missing. So I want to connect that area up to some electricity over there. It's not nice, but it works for now for an initial test. And as you know, like I'm very often about just testing things first before actually starting to build on something new here. I'm just giving it a try, and as you can see, like with 2.7 million, maybe 2.8 million, I can afford a lot of things. But now, like you can see, game day is coming up. It's the 20th of January 2066. So it's not a long time until or before the match will actually start and take place. So I'm wondering how many citizens are using this parking lot. Because I believe, like based on my current insights, this parking lot mod is no longer working. Which is a shame because it was so good and I so much liked it. But for some reason, people are using their freaking pocket cars. Oh no, there's a car coming in. Nice. One of the many cars. 2 cars. Well, are you parking or what are you doing here? I'm not sure what they are doing here. However, I just want to give it a try because usually, like I've attended a couple of matches. Like I went to a baseball match in Toronto. I went to a football match in San Diego, and I almost went to a football match in Oakland. And the thing is, like all those parking lots, they're there to celebrate the game day. Like it's important. It's so important because you can have barbecue outside, you can meet friends. And this is why I set up this parking lot, so that people start using it. They're using it maybe not for barbecuing, but for other things they really love to do. And for that reason, like I wanted to have it here. So it's just one more month, a little bit more than a month. But I guess this whole parking lot thing is not working. It's no longer working. Come on, guys. Oh, gosh. That's a shame. Some cars are recognizing it as a parking lot, and others, they're just leaving it as is. People are getting in there. Not yet filling up the full stadium, so this can become a close call here. I will most likely need some public transport over there, but still I want to leave that parking lot because it looks nice. It does look nice, and it's so reasonable to have that next to a football stadium. That's a shame, man. Why is that not working? So maybe if any one of you does have an experience with the parking lot mod in the current state with the current version of the game, please let me know, because I would like to get it to work. But maybe I just have to wait and see whatever happens here. And the Springvalley Buccaneers. What kind of color should they get? Maybe some dark greenish. I don't know. Light greenish color. Maybe some light greenish. Let's just give it a try. 20th of January. That's so nice. It's so lovely. It's so beautifully detailed. The lines. Yeah, it's not about the lines there, but it's fine. Why are those parking lots not used? So we are getting close to game day. And the thing I'm curious about the most, to be honest, is what happens after game day. So what about 750 people leaving at once that stadium? Very curious to see what's happening there. Just doing some landscaping around it. Softening the whole thing here. Brush size not too strong. Yeah, maybe even stronger. Might make sense to have a stronger brush here. Yeah, I'm leveling this out kind of, so that it looks way smoother than it does right now. The game's on. It's lovely. And I'm so curious to see that, like in City Skylines 2, I'm very curious to see this, because there you can only... Yeah, my team has green colors, which is nice. Do we have some points on there? No, but people are cheering. Beautiful. Game day is happening here. Smoothing things way more out. So an after game day, I think I should receive a notification. And then I want to get a better understanding of how everything worked out. 500 in expenses, but yeah, the upkeep is the expensive part of the stadium. So they are still having this match. I'm just considering to set up maybe a hotel soon over there, just to make it easier for people to get there. No, it's not a one-way. Don't want to have a one-way road here. Yeah, two-way is good. Maybe I'm setting up some hotels here, like a small hotel district. This here, and then I should have tourism. Is it about tourism? Leisure. Yeah, I think it's about tourism here. High density. So some high density things here. Some mixed ones. Letting the game do its thing here. And then also maybe some lower density thing there. Oh, people are streaming out. You can see that. All the pocket cars are coming out. A lot of people are walking, taking a walk. And then suddenly the traffic pours into town. So I don't want to have a stoplight or a traffic light here. Do not want to have one there. No traffic light there. Obviously none there as well. It's not too bad. Like there is only a little traffic happening. Yeah, that's fine. It's not too bad. But the parking lot is not in use. Like they're only using it as a street, but not as a parking lot. Oh, come on. I have to read into that. And I have to get to know what's going on here. Like, yeah, I'm good with you guys leaving here at Heath Street. That's completely fine. I don't mind. Did they win? Yeah, they won $200,000. Nice. Springvalley Buccaneers versus West Valley Broncos. So once in a year, I will have those joining. Nice. So there is some touristy area here. That's a strange place for a tourist area. Yeah, it's based around the thing here, the football stadium. That's fine. I want to create a park area here, so I'm just setting that up now so that I'm not forgetting about it. Yeah, but obviously it should be a park area, leisure thing here. Orchard grounds, it's fine. So roughly like this here. Obviously without that, without this here. So that's fine, that's a nice connection here, and I will set this up very quickly here. Side gate, one side gate. Obviously I can't place another side gate there. That makes sense. And I'm swinging things just through there. Oh, that's not perfect. Doesn't look good. So like this here, orchard grounds, and I should also have some amenities here. Like a park cafe. They will be able to use that. A restroom. Another restroom. One other restroom here. One more restroom over there. Info booth. Info booth. And some gazebos. And then also some trees to make it a bit greener here. Bit nicer. They look huge for some reason. Yeah, but that's fine. That's completely fine. Orchard ground, so I will have some citizens come in there sooner or later. Yeah, not too bad. I'm not 100% sure whether I do like it or not. So I'm doing some lane thingy here, just to be sure that everything's set up correctly. And then I'm also removing the traffic lights from here to keep things flowing, and that traffic should sort itself out pretty easily. Why is this like happening here? It should sort itself already out way sooner. Yeah. Nah. Is it tourists coming to town? I don't believe so. Is it the gameplay? Nah, I don't believe so either. So I'm wondering what are those people doing here? Where do they want to go? Many private vehicles. All traveling out of town. Whoa. Coming from there. Interesting. So, however, I'll let this run. I'm not worrying too much about that now. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining me today. I guess I'm closing this episode now. I did a lot of things during the episode, so let's get started with a quick recap. The first thing I did is I took care of the underpasses, so I no longer should have any highway overpasses, pedestrian overpasses here, but instead of that I do have underpasses now, which provide a more direct, hopefully more convenient connection from one part of the city to the next. So hopefully that works. And after that I did some redecoration. I also took care of, no, not this roundabout here, but that roundabout. I do have some underpasses here as well. I added in another train connection to this part here. Then I completed Madison Park, because that's a bigger district here. Like, this whole thing is Madison Park now. So I added in a lot more residential zones, a few commercial and a few more office zones as well. And then I'm now creating this kind of football area. I added in some Foggy Heights, some hotels and other amenities so that people can stay. Hotels, cafe, souvenir stores, nightclub and whatnot. And also Orchard Grounds, which is a new park in my city. So that should be it. So thank you very much for joining me again. It's always a pleasure. Like, I just love playing City Skylines. As you can see, I'm not doing very well, but I'm learning bits and pieces with every gameplay, and I'm getting more flexible and a bit more freestyle with my setup and breaking up rules and grids and whatnot. So yeah, I'd like to thank you for spending the time here. It was good to see people coming in, leaving me comments here. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you soon back here on my channel. If you haven't left me a like yet, haven't followed me yet, please consider doing that. Obviously it keeps me going, it keeps me engaged, and over time I would love to grow my channel. I hope you're doing good. Have a good rest of your day, and thank you for joining me. Have a good one. Bye bye.